Hello, fellow book lovers, both readers and writers. I am Maddie Dalrymple. I write the Ann Kinnear suspense novels and suspense shorts and the Lizzie Ballard thrillers. And I also write, speak, podcast, and consult on the writing craft and the publishing voyage as the indie author. And this is my video series, What I Learned, where I ask authors two questions related to their latest book. What did they learn from that book that they would like to share with their fellow writers? And what did they learn that they would like to share with their fellow readers? And I am joined today by Libby Hellmann. Hey, Libby, how are you doing?
No, good. It's good. I love those questions, by the way.
Oh, good. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say about them. Just to give our viewers a little bit of background on you, Libby Fischer Hellmann left a career in broadcast news in Washington, D.C., and moved to Chicago a long time ago, where she naturally began writing gritty crime fiction and soon began writing historical fiction as well. 18 novels and 25 short stories later, she claims they'll take her out of the Windy City feet first. She's been nominated for many awards in the mystery and crime writing community and has even won a few. Her latest novel is Max's War, the story of a Ritchie Boy, the little-known group of German Jewish immigrants who escaped Hitler and joined the U.S. Army to fight the Nazis. And so today I am asking Libby the two questions about what she learned from Max's War, starting with what did you learn that you would like to share with your fellow writers?
A lot of things. Okay. The most important thing that I've learned, and it doesn't really apply to Max's War, is that you need a writer's group. I think you need a writer's group. And I think it's a great way to get beta readers and as you're writing, to make sure that you're still on track and that your writing is still as professional as it can be, and that what people are saying to you is what stopped them. They're really not out to antagonize you or to pull you down. They're saying what stopped them. And for that reason, once I got over the whole personal thing, I really weighed everything that everyone told me before I acted on it or I didn't act on it. And I would say in the final analysis, I acted on probably 90% of what was said to me. At the same time, though, writers groups are a little tricky. You have to be careful with the people that are in your group. You basically want them to be at the same level as you, so that if you have published a book, you probably want to be with other people that have published one or two books. If you have not published a book, that that's kind of a different level as well. And if you've published more than half a dozen books, you're on another level as well. I'm still in a writing group. I've published 18 novels.
Can you talk a little bit about that idea of what advice you didn't take? Not necessarily specific advice, but like what are you looking out for that makes you decide whether you're going to act on a piece of advice or not?
How many people have the same comment or if more than one person in the group says the same thing, I know that I really need to do something about it. If it's just one person and I know that person and I know that they have a thing for participle phrases, they hate participle phrases, I will probably, yeah, I didn't realize I'd put one in. I don't particularly like them myself, but I might leave in one or two.
Yeah.
So I have to judge that, how many have I used? Have I used too many? And if sometimes if I want a participle phrase, I will put it in.
Yeah. I think that same thing about assessing input even holds true of editors. If my editor is listening, hi, John. But, my editor will give me 100 comments and there are going to be some certain number that I think about and I think, I don't think so. Or I'm not going to act on it exactly as the editor said, but I understand the underlying reason that the editor made the comment and I need to fix it elsewhere. I can fix it, but I'm fixing it in a different way than maybe the
Yeah.
editor suggested. So yeah,
Right.
it's always the author's work right up until someone says, you have to make this change or we won't publish it.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I respect my editors, and it's the same, absolutely the same thing. And with my editors, probably take 90% of their advice too. So,
Yeah, I'm always interested as an indie published author. Obviously, I have the last say in what goes into my book, but I'm surprised how often I speak with traditionally published authors and they say the same thing that, like, especially early in their careers, their response is to immediately accede to any request that the editor makes. And then as they become more comfortable, they realize that there is an option to talk about it at least.
right. Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about what you learned from Max's War that you would like to share with your fellow readers.
Um, what I think I'd like to share is that I don't think there's a book that has been written, any genre, that does not have underlying suspense to it. And I think that if readers are like me, I love suspense. I can't not read underlying suspense. And the more suspense, the better, because it's the uncertainty, it's the not knowing that keeps you, reading those pages. Got to find the answer, got to have the ending. Hope it's a happy ending. Hope it's a sad ending. Hope he dies. Hope she lives. That kind of thing. And so, whether it's Moby Dick or it's Catch 22 or it's Max's War, there is suspense. And I think that if readers kind of look at it that way, that everything has suspense, they might find out that they are attracted to genres they never thought they might be attracted to. I know I never used to read historical novels, and now I
Yeah.
write them. So,
Yeah, so I guess if someone were looking for Max's War on a shelf, they wouldn't be necessarily looking on the suspense shelf, but just talk for a minute about how you incorporated suspense into Max's War.
well, you'll have to come to my workshop on building suspense.
Perfect.
I do that. No, I basically taught myself what I was doing. I was doing it sort of subconsciously. I wrote suspense before I really knew that that's what I was doing. My first couple of books were suspense novels, but I had no idea what I was doing, so I figured I better teach myself. And so, there are a number of techniques that you can use to build suspense, but the overriding uh, idea is to keep things unanswered, to create obstacles for your protagonists, to try to get them away from the path that they need to follow to achieve whatever it is in the book. The more you can drive them away, the more you can give them trouble and problems, or whether they're metaphysical or physical or what, the more suspense you have. And the more likely it is that readers will want to finish the book to find out how it all turns out.
I like that idea of applying the term suspense to beyond a genre definition, because if you think
Oh,
about
yeah.
like a love story, then obviously this is
Exactly.
one of the aspects of suspense is, are they going to get together or not?
Right.
Oh,
Right. Exactly. So,
yeah. That's so cool. Well, Libby, thank you so much for chatting a little bit about Max's War with me. And please let everyone know where they can go to find out more about you and everything you do online.
thank you. They can go to my website, which is libbyhellman.com. Two L's, two N's, like the mayonnaise. And they can also, I do a lot on Facebook on my author page, at Facebook, which is author Libby Fischer Hellmann. So that's no. They can
Well,
find me.
thank you so much.
Thank you. This was fun.
It was fun.